For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Jane in the Jungle. How's it going today, y'all?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I just heard that Texas starting to rub off on me, and I'm like, I've only been here 2 years, and the y'alls are already coming. I love it. But really excited to have you on. I've been following you for about a year and a half, I guess, at this point. Was introduced to you when we had a short-lived radio show out in Roswell, New Mexico. Somebody sent us, I believe it was Trouble, which is also on your most recent EP that you just released here about a month ago. And so that's how I was introduced. And I'm really excited to sit down and chat with you and get to know more about you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all your support for our music.
Absolutely. It's incredible. Like the music I've listened to since first being introduced to you has been incredible. So it's easy to support really good music. So first, before we kind of jump into the EP, the music video, all the cool stuff you've been doing so far in 2022, let's kind of give an opportunity to have you introduce yourselves individually and what you do in the band.
Sure. So I guess I'll start. My name is Jordan White, and I am the lead singer in the band. And I've just recently, again, started doing just a hair of guitar.
I'm Brian, Little B, I guess. Brian Tuffy, as many know me. I play guitar in the band.
I'm also Brian, or Big B, as I've been called, and I play bass.
Awesome. That's funny and amazing at the same time. Little B and Big B.
Well, so usually when we're introducing ourselves to bands that we're playing with, we're just like, if you just call anybody Brian or Jane, somebody will respond to you. So you're fine.
That makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So what's kind of the origin stories for the band? What brought you all together?
So Brian and I right here, we went to kindergarten through high school together.
Oh, wow.
And then we didn't even reconnect until after college. We weren't friends or anything like that. And Brian ended up coming to one of my acoustic shows. And afterward, he says, "Hey, do you want to try being in a band with me?" And I said, "Sure, let's give it a go." And so that's been about 10 years since that has happened. And we've been through many different obstacles and paths that's led us to where we are today. But we started working with Big B. It's been like 4 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah, something like that. 4, I think. And we were playing with Big B, doing shows together while he was in a band called Dirt Moon. And last minute, we needed somebody to fill in on a gig and fill in on a recording project in Chicago. And we asked Brian if he could come out, and he did. And we've been playing music ever since.
Awesome. That's really cool. And you're based out of Phoenix. Are you all from Phoenix or kind of from all over and just happen to meet in Phoenix?
We're all actually from Phoenix. The drummer that we play with, he's in LA. Myself and Big B, we both have lived in LA. And so we go back and forth pretty often to gig out there because we prefer the vibe, and the Sunset Strip just really inspires us. And that's what we were pretty consistently doing before the pandemic. And it seems like finally we're kind of back at that pattern again.
Gotcha. And you, so you kind of transfer between LA and Phoenix as far as music goes, because that makes a lot of sense now. I saw one of your recent shows, you were playing in the Viper Room, right? Was I reading? Yeah.
Yeah, no, Viper Room is a good staple for us. We love it and want to play there as much as we can while it's still open.
Yeah. I actually just found out a couple of podcasts ago that the Viper Room is closing. I had somebody from LA and we got on that topic of conversation. And I was like, oh, dang, before I can even get there. So.
Well, it's based on what I heard from some of their employees, it's not like immediately imminent. So if you find your way out to Los Angeles this summer, I think it'll probably still be open at least through the summer, just based on kind of some of the rumblings that I heard from the employees there. Because obviously we all brought it up when we were there, and that was kind of the feedback we got. So,
gotcha. That's good to know. We were trying to figure out when it was closing, and the earliest I could keep seeing was like the end of the year, beginning of next year, but nobody had like a direct date. So,
yeah.
But no, that's cool that you guys jump between both LA and Phoenix. As far as the music goes, you guys have been playing together now for some time. You got a new EP that dropped in March. Yep, that's how math works. March. What's kind of the story behind this EP?
Well, we started working on the EP in the start of 2020, and
pre-COVID,
actually. We were out there right before the shutdowns, and I remember we were on the plane and we were like, why are people wearing masks?
Yeah.
We had no idea. And then finally we came back and we're like, shoot, I guess we should have been wearing masks as well. But we didn't really have, this was kind of the first time where we didn't really have a vision, to be completely honest with you. We didn't do any pre-prep or demoing. We just went in with basic ideas and really thought that this would be our first experience of working with a producer and writing in the studio and just being organic while we were all there together. And that's really how this EP started.
Gotcha. And was the idea, or was as you started working on the EP, one thing that I noticed kind of listening through the whole thing is each song has like its own distinctive sound and feel. Was that something that you had set out for, or did it just kind of happen and it all just kind of worked together?
Yeah, it just kind of happened because, like I said, we didn't really have a vision, or we were so, I guess, willy-nilly going into it. But we knew, like, we can play all sorts of music and we're very broad, our sound. And so we were having trouble identifying, like, honestly, like what path we wanted to go down. Like if we wanted to be more alt artists or a grunge or, you know, commercial pop or hard rock. Yeah. And so this EP really explores gently hints of those, each of those genres. And we're excited that we actually just recorded another EP. Nice. And you'll hear that we definitely are honing in and being more direct with our sound.
Gotcha. So this was Ocean's Creatures is the name of the EP that was released in March. So that you're kind of found what sound off of that EP you really gravitate towards, and that's what you're honing in on, or is it kind of a mishmash of all of it?
I think it's more so the sound that we are just currently just vibing with. And it speared, you're correct, different parts and elements of the EP that we enjoyed and found that we thought we had success with. And we just wanted to gravitate towards that.
Gotcha. So as far as like the whole writing process for the EP, how does the creative process for an album break down for the band? Who's like, is there one person that kind of leads into the writing, or is it like a communal effort?
Each song is different. It's all just very organic, and oftentimes it will be the guys are riffing on a verse or two, and it kind of just happens organically that way. Like Ain't No Other Way, I remember, I think was written in like 20 minutes before we did a live stream, and we actually popped on the live stream and played it. And so sometimes stuff like that just randomly happens. And I would say for all this EP, it was very organic and randomly put together, just in the spirit of where we were at with the pandemic. And during the writing process, we would meet and have skinny margaritas and Mexican pizzas and and just randomly write. And there was no rhyme or reason. We just did it because we just felt like we wanted to do it. And it was really a fun process. This current process was not that way. I would say it's a little more, I spent a long time rewriting lyrics, and we were demoing a lot. And I think that benefited to where we are today. But this EP that just came out, Ocean Creatures, like I said, I think the guys would agree, was very organic in the spirit of the time that we were all in.
Awesome. So Ocean Creatures, you started working on it right before the pandemic, or you said early 2020, like right around the beginning parts of the pandemic. Obviously, then the pandemic hits and it kind of throws a monkey wrench into everything. At what point did you decide, okay, we need to start releasing the music that we've been working on? Did you want to try and get the EP out quicker, or was it always like testing the waters with the singles, kind of like what you did?
Well, I think that we wanted to get things out right away, especially Animal was the first release, and we felt like it was really appropriate at the time as well. So a lot of the content of the song was inspired by what we were kind of seeing with the Australian wildfires, and that chorus ended up kind of feeling more thematic of the year than I think we would have liked. So I knew we all knew that we wanted to get something out right away. And then just as the process went, it was just kind of like, okay, I think this is a package of songs, and I think we need to bring it out that way. And but there is always, just based on where the industry is today, especially for less known bands, is it's kind of like, it's what have you done for me lately? So it's like you always have something more and more more recently than ever. So that was just kind of our processing. Did I miss anything on that, you guys?
No, and that's the unfortunate part about where the industry is you've got to so continuously release music, or you just kind of fall off the attention wheel, as we'll call it. And that's just the unfortunate part of things.
Yeah, or you fall out of the algorithm, or however it works.
Yeah. And so you released the EP, and it's been out for about a month now. So what's kind of going through your head now that it's been out and people are starting to listen to it and all that fun stuff?
Now, like what Brian, you were just saying, it's like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what we're working on, is the next thing, which is putting out new music.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really excited that we feel like this new music is what we're currently working on, which feels good. And Ocean Creatures, like I said, it was like 2 years in the making. And so it felt really good to brush that off and start anew. And that's what we're gearing up for.
Gotcha. Speaking of Ocean Creatures, let's talk about that single specifically, since you just recently drop the music video for that. Why did you choose that song to drop a music video for?
So we actually did music videos for each single.
Okay, gotcha.
And this Ocean Creatures was the last music video to be released, and the title track.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a nice progression with the EP and music videos. And I think that you'll see that visually, I don't know how you would.
It's visually stunning.
Yeah.
It's really, I think it's very
captivating.
emotional.
Yeah.
And we wanted to end it on that note, and we thought it really rounded out the project. And so that's why we chose to do that.
Gotcha. That makes sense, because I was going to say it looked visually epic, I guess is the best way I want to describe it, just because it stands out and it's really well done, and I can't even think of words to describe it. It was a really good music video, and I really enjoyed watching it when it dropped. It was so much so that it was just like, okay, I got to go back and watch it again just to kind of dissect what I just watched. And because, when you're watching it for the first time, it's like, you're just kind of watching it, and then you start noticing stuff as you go back. So it's a really good music video. I enjoyed it. And hopefully everybody that is listening will give it a chance, or will give it a look. That's the best. Yep. That's the word. Give it a look and have the same experience. So As far as like the creative process for the music video, was that all y'all's idea, or did you have somebody like the people that were help video or producing it? Was it kind of their idea and you just told them what you wanted?
Yeah, so for Ocean Creatures, my good friend Jen Laveau, which actually did Trouble and Ain't No Other Way, him and we spoke about the song and what we wanted to accomplish and told the guys to show up. And we kind of told our idea of what we were going to do. And it sounded completely ridiculous. Oh, I'm just for the whole music video, I'm just going to stand there with crazy wild makeup.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have flashing lights and that's going to be it. And then it's like, that's really it. And we're like, yeah, it's going to be great. And yeah, everyone kind of laughed, but I think, gosh, it worked out.
And it did. It looked great. And, I was picking up, I was trying to figure out like just the song in general, what the song reminded me of or where it was pulling influences from. And the thing that just kept popping into my head was like 70s psychedelic.
Mm-hmm.
I just because I couldn't put like a specific band or, anything more specific than that. So, and then that you see the visuals and it's like, yeah, I could see this. So it was really cool. Once again, great job on the music video. And was it the same production team for all the music videos that you've released or off this EP?
So Jim did 3 of the songs. Okay. And then we had another music video director do Animal. And then Brian actually put together Lucky 7, which is another music video.
Our low budget one where we needed something, but we couldn't afford anything.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Was that during like the heart of the pandemic because that was in 2020, right?
Like, yeah. Right during like the shutdowns and
it was like, okay, we're just going to take clips from the studio and like our jams in the practice space,
mm-hmm.
Like nothing was open, couldn't go anywhere. So it's like, all right, let's just make this fun and, just kind of like give people a glimpse into, who we are and what we're doing right now. And just to kind of capture that moment in time. And I guess I need to go back and watch it. I haven't watched it in a while, but just to kind of go back to that time and place. That's fun.
Yeah, for sure. And during the pandemic, I think a lot of musicians that were wanting to produce music videos got really creative with how they were going to do it because either they couldn't get together with their band or they couldn't get together with a videographer, just like depending on where that we were at in the pandemic. So just seeing a lot of bands get really creative with their music videos, whether it be using pre-existing footage or, whatever it is, it's really amazing. So I will have to go back and watch the Lucky 7 music video because I'm all about the low budget stuff. So, as far as kind of moving forward with the music, you're working on the next EP. Where did you say you were at in that process? Are writing, recording?
Recorded it a couple months ago.
Okay.
And so we just wrapped up on the project.
Gotcha. And when do you have like a tentative release date for that yet, or?
We're really hoping we can get something out by May or June.
Okay.
Like the first single, tail end May, beginning of June, something like that.
Gotcha. So relatively quick, right after the release.
Our thought is we want to do it as soon as possible.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So I do have to ask because it's something that I saw on your social medias. You just got done playing South by Southwest. You just got back from the Grammys. How's all the traveling been?
Well, it was actually super fun. Yeah, we enjoyed it. We opened for Sammy Hagar in The Warning, and we've been wanting to play with The Warning for a handful of years. We were supposed to do a show with them, but it got canceled during, the pandemic. And yeah, the Grammys was fun. This was our first time that we went to the Grammys in Vegas. And
it's the first time I've ever been in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's been in Vegas before, but it was a fun atmosphere for it.
Gotcha.
I kind of liked the atmosphere better than being in Los Angeles because it felt more like immersive in a way. Whereas like the way it feels in LA is so many of these people live in LA anyways that it's like, oh, they just pop over and then they go home, or you know what I mean? It's like it's very like it feels like nothing's happening.
Regardless of all that, it's just really cool to just be celebrating music. I think at the end of it, you have to remember that it's about, you know, really the world coming together as one and being able to recognize artists and for them to have recognition and, you know, respect for their art. And at the end of the day, that's really what it means and why I think that it matters. And to show support for your peers is, I think, really special. And it just keeps music alive and out there.
For sure. The one thing I regret is not making the 1.5-hour trip down to Austin for your South by Southwest set. I just couldn't get my schedule cleared. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this was after we had booked the podcast. I was like, I should go down there and see their set. And then I'm looking at my schedule and I'm like, you have like 2 hours free that day, and it's going to take you 1.5 hours to get down there. So how are you going to make this work? And like, this is just my conversation with myself, but I should have made it work, figured out a way to make it work. But
well, we hope that we can be back next year.
Was this your first time at South by, or?
So this was our first official showcase at South by, but we've been down there during South by and we'd play on Dirty Sixth and stuff.
Okay, gotcha. So you've done like some of the unofficial showcases and whatnot.
Yep.
Cool. No, that's cool. I still haven't been to South by because the first year I was here, they canceled it. And then they didn't have one last year, right?
No.
I think I had a virtual thing last year.
That's right.
Which, like, so what?
Yeah.
Like for you, that's not going to be a good first experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was hoping to get, like I said, I was hoping to get down there this year, but it just didn't happen. So hopefully next year. But
absolutely.
But yeah, so outside of kind of music, what do you all do to just kind of get away from each other or decompress from life?
You want to start?
I mean, I don't know. I do like to play guitar on my own time, like quite a bit, and then I like hurting my back at the gym quite a bit. Seems like I do that all the time. I like to cook. And actually my mom is a winemaker in Arizona. So I really have started to explore wine more. So those are some of my things that I do in my free time, and then work a lot as well in the real estate business. Jordan and I actually work together in real estate.
Awesome.
Yes, it keeps us more busy than we'd like, but it helps us do the music.
Yeah, for sure. You always got to have that career or that job that just kind of helps fund your addiction to music. So at least that's a good addiction to have.
Absolutely. What about you, Big B? What do you do?
A lot of the same. Also spend a lot of time in the gym, working a lot. My manager works store in Phoenix. Work a lot. I recently got a grill and a smoker, so I've been spending a lot of time outside cooking and smoking meats and smoking cigars, drinking whiskey, just hanging out, listening to records.
I dig it. I've been trying to get more into smoking barbecue and stuff like that, but I'm not that good at it. So
it's fun. You should definitely give it a shot. It's a lot of fun just to get outside and cook.
For sure.
Never knew you enjoy being outdoors so much.
Lately, yeah.
We'll have to have a barbecue.
You're kind of like an indoor cat.
Kind of.
What about you, Jordan? What do you like to do?
Yeah, pretty much the same as the guys. I mean, that's why we get along so well, because we have like really similar interests. But yeah, workout, yoga. I love to watch good shows. I think we're all addicted to The Love Is Blind, even though it's like terrible.
You also like to watch some bad shows too.
No, I love bad shows. I love reality, like just, I don't know why I like reality TV, but I do. What else? that's kind of it. There hasn't been too much. I mean, really not so much traveling.
Yeah.
And then we're just, as you mentioned, we're just now traveling again.
Mm-hmm.
So that feels good.
One of my hobbies is I enjoy flying on airplanes, which is something they don't like.
Oh my God. Yeah. No.
See, I like flying. I just don't like flying commercial because that is the biggest headache in the world.
So you like to fly private?
No, I just like my dad's a pilot, so and so when I was growing up, he had friends that had like little airplanes, and he used to go take me up in those, and that's really cool and fun. But like when you get on commercial airliners, it's like I got to sit next to somebody I don't know and probably don't like, and just deal with TSA and security and all that stuff. So I'd much rather. What's that?
You'd rather.
What's that?
Would you rather drive? Is that what you're going to say?
Yep, I'd rather drive.
So let me ask you a question. Have you driven across Texas yet?
Yeah, I've done it. I average about 3 times a year driving across Texas. Well, because I've got friends that still live out in Roswell, New Mexico. I lived in Roswell, New Mexico for 4 years, and so I drive from Waco to Roswell, which I'm sure if you've driven from Phoenix to anywhere in Texas, you're familiar with that road trip. But yeah, I've driven all across Texas. It's not fun, but it's not the worst experience I've ever had.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of desolation, just like Arizona.
It's better than driving through Illinois from Chicago all the way down to Southern Illinois. It's way better than that. So
yeah,
it's
very cool. Well, you can come drive the tour bus.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But yeah.
All of a sudden the guy didn't like
that. But anyways, so just kind of wow, I got a weird feedback there. That was interesting. Kind of moving forward, what's the plan for the rest of the year? Obviously, you got the new EP coming out and all that stuff.
Yeah, we hope that we can do a handful of shows. We'll definitely be back in LA. We'll definitely be doing a show in Phoenix. We hope to be on maybe a mini tour, and we're trying to figure that out right now. And we're definitely going to be putting out as much music as possible, and just keep at it is the plan.
Cool. That's always a good plan. How many shows do you have on the books right now? Are you actively booking shows, or is that kind of later in the year that you're looking?
So we have 0 confirmed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of work to do, but no, we have a lot of shows that we're waiting for them to be confirmed.
Gotcha.
So we're just
Gotcha. So I do have a fairly selfish question. What is a hidden gem as far as going to see live music in Phoenix, like a hidden gem venue?
I mean, one of my favorite venues is probably like, I really like Rebel Lounge, like Ballroom. If you want something that's like actually literally hidden, Valley Bar is actually literally hidden. It's you enter down these stairs that are in an alleyway. It feels very sketchy when you go
like a
there.
speakeasy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's like your literal hidden gem.
Nice. I love like in Chicago, that was a big thing, like the speakeasy type stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Like what's it called? Subterranean or whatever over there in like the park.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Reggie's. Didn't Reggie's have a underground area too? Like a basement?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that's just very selfish for me because we're looking to take this podcast on the road as they say. So, I'm always looking for cool new venues to try and book our podcast in. So,
cool. If you follow the I-40 over to Flagstaff,
Mhm.
there's also a literal hidden place that we played there too, called the Gopher Hole. It's in the basement of this old, like 100-year-old hotel.
Mhm.
Pretty cool place with good comfort food. So
Nice. Awesome.
Too.
Awesome. I will have to check that place out as well. But yeah, I just want to thank you all once again for jumping on here and hanging out with me for a little bit and having a really cool chat. If people want to check out your music, check out any upcoming shows, or just interact with you on social media, where's the best place to do that?
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Pandora, SoundCloud.
We're on all the normal socials: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us at Jane, the letter in the jungle, like Guns N' Roses. Pretty easy. If you Google us, you'll probably find stuff out there that we don't even know exists either. So you could go down that rabbit hole as well.
Awesome. I love just throwing in band names into Google and seeing what pops up. It's always especially with how intuitive Google's gotten now. It's really interesting. But anyways, I do want to once again thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute blast. Really enjoyed chatting with you. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.